Is link building dead? I get this question a lot. A lot of clients come to me and say, should we still be link building? And honestly, it's the wrong question to be asking. I spent 10 years at link building, and honestly, 90% of the advice out there is dangerously outdated. So in the next however many minutes, I'm gonna give you my exact 10-year playbook on what's working right now and the strategies that you should be doing. I'll try streamline the points just to get through the video, and if you kind of want me to elaborate on anything, just leave a comment and I'll just touch on that a little bit more for you. Starting with number one, why your brand search volume might actually be more important than your backlink profile. Now, this is indirectly related to link building, but it directly affects your efforts. The landscape has changed. Gone are the days that you could just build some links and then ride the wave to the top. You kind of need to be omni-channel now, and this actually feeds back into your brand search. Basically, you just need people searching for your brand, and you can do this through things like social media. If you're B2B, you could be doing LinkedIn, you could be doing Twitter, you could be doing YouTube, and sometimes you could be doing Instagram, depending on what your business is and if your audience is on there. If you're B2C, naturally you want to be doing YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of the typical social medias that your clientele might be on, because you can just post that content between all of the platforms and just reuse it to just get the maximum reach. And essentially, people will see your video, they'll search your brand maybe on Google, and they'll click on your website. This tells Google that people are actually looking for your brand. You'll start to get a search volume for your brand because people are going direct, maybe they saw your ad. So you want to be in that person's face all the time. So they're just thinking about your brand, they search your brand, you get some brand search. If you have a site that is ranking significantly well for a lot of terms, but it just has no brand volume and no one is actually searching for it, it seems a little bit odd how you would have all of this traffic, but people are actually not searching for the brand. So this is often a down signal in a lot of the recent updates. We see big brands being favored over the guys that are actually doing good SEO. And finally, on this point, you need to get reviews. Google sees reviews as a positive signal. It sees it as authority. It sees that people are actually using your business. So if you have a customer come in, just send them an email, set up automation to get them to leave some reviews. Maybe it's Trustpilot if you're B2C, sometimes it works for B2B, but otherwise Google reviews are great. Even certain platforms like Shopper Approved, if you're B2B, will actually really help your authority. And generally, these will show up on your brand searches as well. So just a good example of a brand search portfolio is your parking space. If we search your parking space, you can see they're running ads on their name, which often is actually a good thing, especially if you're not ranking number one. It's good for that because then people search and click on it, especially if you're running a lot of social and you're not ranking number one for your name. Maybe because you're a keyword heavy domain, you're not actually going to be ranking top. I have a domain like this. You're going to see your parking space here. You can see their Twitter. We can see Facebook, apps, Google Play, Trustpilot. Normally Trustpilot has all of the reviews on there, which is strange, but we can see 100,000 reviews, which is pretty crazy. So all of this builds a lot of trust, especially in the eyes of Google and especially in the eyes of your customer. This actually will get you a better conversion rate. If people search your brand, they see a lot of good listings there. Or again, if you have that brand search volume, you're going to get a much better result from your link building because Google sees you as an authority already and you're just posting other content around that. That's actually going to improve those rankings of those content as well as improve the rankings of your brand. We come to point two. If you're going to try get natural backlinks, you need to go all in. What do I mean by this? Well, natural backlink acquisition is possible and a lot of people do it, but it's very time consuming. You need to be creating amazing content and you need to be getting people to link back to that content. So if you're going to create an amazing piece of content. Create something maybe that's just like a study in your industry that has some revelational data that something is changing, maybe the winds of change in your industry, or maybe something has particularly just happened and you want to write about it. Other things are like tools. You can create tools. These are particularly important in the world of AI because people are just searching everything using AI. The one thing they can't do is use tools within the AI. So if you have a specific tool that people would want to link back to, that's actually going to be very good. Because ultimately these middle tier sites don't want to be linking out too much because if they do, it can hurt their SEO. Whereas if you're a massive site with huge authority, you're less likely to get penalized. But if these middle tier sites are sending out too many links, it's going to hurt their SEO if they have a lot of outbound follow links. So you're gonna have to give them a real reason to do it. And that comes to my next point on this, is that if you're going all in, you wanna be reaching out to journalists, big press, you wanna try and get them to pick up your story, because actually sometimes if you have a very, very good piece, these are more likely to pick it up and link back to you than a typical middle tier site. In some cases, obviously PR now is become very popular, so these sites are linking less, but it's still very possible. So if you can't do that, if you don't have the time to reach out to journalists, etc., you should be looking at getting maybe a press release team, or looking at maybe like Presswire or something like that to try and syndicate the post. PR links and PR services can be quite pricey, so if you do have the time, you can kind of do that yourself. Especially if you start to become an authority of your niche, you have a little bit more pull with journalists because they know that you're maybe more of a trusted brand. It really depends on where you are in that process. The other way is to do Haro. Is another way to get natural links. You can get them for free as well. Again, it just takes a lot of time. And this is actually one of my new favorite things. If you don't want to pay for links and you want to get those mid-tier links and you don't want to do the creative work, I'm not much of a creative person personally. My mind just kind of works in that way. So if I'm going to be link building, I prefer to do link exchanges. It's essentially where, say you have your one site, maybe someone has two sites, you link to one of those sites, and from that other site, they link back to you. Or maybe you have two sites, that will put you in a very good position. You can link to them from one of your sites, and then from your other site, you would get a link from their site. It's important not to do reciprocal links, sending a link directly to each other, because this will just nullify the result. But this is a great way to get links. There are many Slack groups out there that you can join, and there are also many, I would call them resellers of link exchanges. Maybe they have a load of sites that they just say to them, look, I can get you a link in a form of exchange, and then they probably get a link out of it somewhere else. They will basically connect you with another site, and they say, look, you need to link to this site, they'll link to this site, and essentially they'll create like a network of links that just creates a good backlink to your site with no repercussions, no reciprocal links, and it's essentially free. We actually do a lot of these. I really like it for B2B, but I have seen it been done for B2C. We have done a little bit there. It really depends on the site. So the best way to do this is to find someone who is doing link exchanges. So maybe you need to reach out to a lot of sites, or maybe you just look at the backlink profile of a site using a SEO tool such as Ahrefs or SEMrush. And as soon as you find one site that has done some link exchanges, you can have a look who they're linking to. Maybe you see another site that has a load of link exchanges, and you can reach out to these sites, just offer them an exchange the same way maybe you would reach out if you were doing guest posting, or even just trying to get them to link back to your content. A great way to do this is just by sending them an email, and once you find them and you find a referring domain profile that you like the look of and you think it is full of exchanges, just reach out to all of those sites and they will essentially help you. It's not as time consuming as creating content that you're trying to get links back on, so this one can actually be a lot more tangible. Just for example, I know a site who's doing a lot of link exchanges. I know all of these are link exchanges, so I would reach out to these. You can see because they are incredibly high DRs. Typically you need to have some authority and some backlinks already, but there might be someone that you know with a decent site, or maybe you're a little bit further along the process and maybe you can get some middle tier, lower tier sites. Some of the high DR sites are actually willing to link back because they know the value of a link exchange and they're just trying to get as many links as possible as well. So it doesn't hurt to reach out to higher DR sites. Definitely worth a shot. You have nothing to lose by doing this, and link exchanges are a great method. Payback links, now these do still very much work. They are still very good. You just need to be a lot smarter about it. It's for people who don't have a lot of time. They just kind of want to outsource their link building. They don't have time to do all the creative part. They don't have time to do the exchanges, or again, you can outsource that. And they don't want to be paying over the odds for PR links, which you're not always guaranteed to get a good link. And you might actually be paying a lot more for something that could be a middle tier, whilst PR still is a great thing for diversity. And I'll get onto that later. Though if you are doing paid links, you need to be very strategical and have a good link strategy in place, and make sure you are sending links to a page that needs links. Not just hammering a page because you want it to rank, not just hammering a page because you really want a keyword to work, not just sending all of your links into one. You need to have a strategy where you move those links around the site. Maybe you're sending it to lower tier pages that link back up to certain service pages, and just making sure that it creates a natural profile. Naturally, most people know just vary your anchor text and also use long tail keywords to diversify those anchor texts, but also just targeting other keywords on that page. And again, it's the usual. If it's a brand new site, you just send them all to the homepage branded for a little while, maybe 2-3 months. And then afterwards, you can start to do a 30% homepage split and then a 70% internal pages. And that's not 70% to one page. You want to be splitting that up. So no more than maybe 30% to one page. I could talk a lot about this, and I have actually spoken a bit more about paid backlinks and how to do that. And typically it's better to have a great strategy. I won't touch on all of those other points about paid backlinks. You can see my other videos for that. It always pays to have a link building strategy in place, just something that you know that you're putting those links in the right places, because otherwise paid links are expensive. All link building is expensive, whether it's time or money. So you need to make sure that strategy is robust to make sure it's natural and you're not overcooking a page. And that brings me to my next point, the variety of links. I just want to touch on this after paid links because it's very important. And the first way that you can do that variety, probably come back to paid links, again, link exchanges and PR, but you don't have so much control on those. If you, for example, have a visa site, you don't just want to find sites that talk about immigration or travel. Imagine you have like a business visa. You want to be sending business sites to your business visa pages. If you have the travel sites, you could be sending those to your travel visa pages. If you have ones about moving abroad, maybe you could be posting on family, mummy blogs, lifestyle blogs. If you were talking about moving abroad for work on like a job site, a career site, you could send those to your working visas. So making sure that you're just diversifying the types of sites that you have where possible. And another way that you can diversify is through different link types. So one that's really important for local SEO is your directories. So directories are actually very strong for local SEO, but they're also actually very good for service-based sites or e-commerce sites, just for a diversification of links. And then the other type would be forum links on there. I mean, there are plenty of other types of links, but these are your core. And forum links would just be like, maybe has anyone used this business? And then maybe a link to your business. I mean, these in that respect are a little bit unnatural, but again, it just looks like people are talking about your business. You've got a diversity of links. If you just had all of one link type, all of one niche, and just sent that to your site, then again, it creates an unnatural profile. So again, just making sure that you're diversifying everything that you're doing to just make it look like a real site. And also, you don't know who is reading these forums. Actually, a lot of these forums are there for a reason, so a lot of people are reading them. And essentially they'll see your post and maybe they'll click through. You decide how you post that, but again, they are a great strategy to do. And this brings me to my second to last point, which is the quality of the site and content. Now, this one has been rehashed a million times, people will tell you, and if you're building a good site and you're working hard on it, it really just comes naturally. But I won't go too deep into this because you've probably heard it a million times, but I'll stick to the key points. If your page is failing to rank, spending more on links or building other links through link exchanges or all these other methods that I've talked about won't actually help your rankings. A good way to test this, particularly if you don't get a lot of traffic to maybe your service pages or your product pages, is to run PPC ads. So if you run PPC ads to it and you find that page is actually converting pretty well, the interaction rates are good, the conversion rates and the conversion costs are good, then you know the page is good, then maybe you just need some more authority. But if the PPC is actually not showing any good results, then you've probably got an issue with the page. And this actually comes down to intent, because obviously when you're trying to rank a page, you pick a keyword for that page. You want to make sure that the intent matches the search results. So for example, if you search something and you see the top 5 results are e-commerce category pages, and you're trying to rank a text-based page, it's very unlikely that you're going to get the top results. If you see a product page, you want to have a product page trying to rank. And then naturally, if you see a text-based page, then you want to have a text-based solution. You want to have a text-based page that you are going to get to the top. So just matching the customer intent and the method that they're looking for. I spoke about it on a different video. I had a client who, for example, had a page that was on blood testing, and it was just a blood testing kit. But if you actually searched those results, you pretty much just found that everything was a blood test that you went to. But I had him change it to blood test at home because he was just hammering the page with anchors like blood testing, and it just wasn't working because his page was not themed right. He did not understand the customer intent and he did not have his page theme right. So that's just something very important to keep an eye on, just making sure that your intent is there. And the final point on this is cover all of the keywords in your industry. And you might think, yeah, I'm ranking the content on this other stuff, but you need to understand all of the keywords in your industry. So for example, I had a client in MDF and they just had all their top level pages. So like the types of MDF out there, the moisture resistant, the normal one, the fire retardant, etc. But he didn't look at all of the other keywords. There was plenty for sizes, there was plenty of keywords for colors, and actually the sizes were some of the biggest volume. So my point is on this is to make sure you're covering all of the keywords, because if you do cover all of the keywords, it makes you more of an authority, gives you more expertise, and it opens you up to a world of new keywords that you can start to rank, and you can start to link to these pages. Often the head term is by far the most competitive, and the head term is generally, in this case, MDF. But in the case of these sizes, the 3 mil, etc., once we released those pages actually started to rank a lot faster than the head term. And we found that the head term actually started to rank a lot better once these other pages were working, ranking well, and getting good interaction rates. And finally, there's probably other points that I could talk about here. These are just some of the key ones that I see. It's just be consistent. Invest the amount of time or money that you can actively spend for at least 6 to 12 months. And if you see a bump where your site's not really growing, making sure you treat your site like something you truly love, not just delivering on the business side, but really creating the best quality content that answers the search intents over time, and making sure that you're consistently building LinkedIn authority, creating content. Sadly, we will have to be omni-channel now, but really trying to build your brand presence in every way imaginable. Because AI is taking your traffic from your content. And again, I'll touch on in another video on how to optimize for AI and get shown in those search results. But for now, nobody knows exactly how to do that perfectly, so I don't want to put it in as one of my concrete steps to doing the best link building and making the best of the money and the time that you spend on your business, because ultimately we just want to grow our revenues and grow our businesses. And if we do that more efficiently and better, then we get a much better result. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you have any other points that you think that I'm missing from this video, I'd love to hear them.